Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I just talked to my 19-year-old who's playing JUCO baseball, just for a little baseball update. He told me that he pitched in practice for the first time. In the fall, I don't think I've mentioned this, in the fall they scrimmage a lot of the teams that they're going to play in the regular season in the spring, but he pitched for the first time in their scrimmages, and he said that the coaches kept track of strikeout percentage, and his was the highest at 75%, which is a good start. I don't know where he's at on miles per hour yet. I don't know if they had a gun on him, but I'm hoping his speed's going up a little bit. We shall see. Another look, crypto theft. August 19th, victim was scammed out of 783 Bitcoin via fake exchange and hardware wallet support. Funds are being funneled through Wasabi. Uncovered by Zach XBT. The heist fell on the first anniversary of 243 million Genesis creditor theft. Well, if you're like me and you're tired of worrying about your crypto being stolen, one of the ways I do it is one of my two ways is I have an account with Caleb and Brown. I have institutional custody. They have all kinds of fail safes to keep you from getting hacked, and so this is one of the ways that I do it. I put a lot of my XRP there. If you want to open an account, you can go to xrpwealth589.com. It'll forward you to my page here on Caleb and Brown. You hit sign up today, and there you get free institutional custody. They have multiple OTC liquidity providers, and you get an actual person that you can not only speak to on the phone with. As a broker, you can also email them and they will execute trades. You can even email them and say, hey, I've got cash in my account, buy XRP with it. I've done it myself. You can say, hey, I've got cash in my account, I need you to send that into my US bank account, and it's there in 24 hours, at least mine was. So go check it out. We've got a 292 XRP ticking up a little bit. I noticed this today, and we don't, I try to show these whenever I see them. I typed Brad Garlinghouse in YouTube, and out of the first 5 videos, there were 3 live streams running where they use AI usually and make it look like it's Brad Garlinghouse talking about doing an XRP giveaway, but it's not Brad Garlinghouse. It's scammers that are running a live stream trying to make you think that if you send them a little bit of XRP in order to confirm your address or something like that, then they're going to send you a bunch in this XRP giveaway. It's a lie. It's a scam. Do not send your XRP to anybody. Do not give your 24 words to anybody if you keep them on a hard wallet. Ignore all this nonsense. Follow your plan. Morgan Stanley's revised its outlook, predicting a 25 basis points Fed rate cuts in both September and December. All these people know what's going to happen before it happens, folks. You should know that by now. Things are going to get interesting. And I wanted to make this point. I showed you in the last video that XRP is the fastest ever contract it says each crossed 1 billion in OI, with XRP being the fastest ever contract to do so. That was the CME group. And then Gemini surpassed Coinbase on the Apple, on the iOS app. That's a pretty monumental feat. How'd they do it? By issuing an XRP MasterCard. And I said here, does anyone really believe that BlackRock is just staring at the traction that XRP has and staring at the XRP army, which is the number one real community in crypto? For a reason. I think BlackRock's just staring at that. Say, oh, we have no plans to issue an XRP ETF. You think they're gonna tell you when they have their plan to issue an XRP ETF? No. First, they're gonna let all their clients their big clients accumulate it, and then they'll announce it out of nowhere. That's how that's going to go down. This is Jack McDonald. I don't know. He's at Web 2025. Not sure. WebX conference.
Pilots around the world, quite successful at that, and we very much believe in a tokenized world on chain. That said, we've made the decision to really put our resources and time behind the stable coins because we feel like that's the real unlock of the future here and where we at Ripple can have the biggest impact. I'd also note that I think certainly in the U.S. there's legislation actually precluding the U.S. government from issuing a CBDC. So I think you have to look at the growth of CBDCs in a very specific jurisdiction by jurisdiction or sovereign by sovereign perspective. But at Ripple, we're focused on our stablecoin. We've kind of made our bet there and have a playbook that we're running.
Oh, they're making that bet. They're making a lot of other bets too. This is from Nate Garachi, one of the ETF guys, talking about the Canary American-made crypto ETF, originally created in the U.S., where a majority of tokens were minted in the U.S. through native validation mechanism, where a majority of protocols operations U.S.-based. Next year is going to be wild. Oh, yes. It's going to be wild. I think the end of this year is going to be wild. And then Smoke has uncovered another gem. Check this out. Ripple is currently building an oracle that can query data from existing bank ledgers. Now, why would they need to do that? What was it they told you? Banks are never going to use XRP? Well, we're about to find out. And then Uptown Saul found this one. Link Logis and XRP Ledger announced strategic partnership to advance global digital supply chain finance applications. It says here, leading Chinese supply chain announced a strategic partnership. Well, you don't partner with the XRP Ledger. You partner with Ripple, I guess, who's going to help you use the XRP Ledger. Globally renowned enterprise-grade blockchain solution, the two parties will jointly facilitate deployment of Link Logis global digital supply chain finance application on the XRP Ledger mainnet and drive its large-scale commercialization. As the core of this collaboration, they will integrate its global digital supply chain finance platform into XRP on mainnet to enable circulation of cross-border settlement digital assets backed by real-world trade flows. This partnership not only marks its entry into the global decentralized financial ecosystem, but also demonstrates the company's continued innovation in cross-border trade finance. Now, you know what this reminds me of? Remember Bob Way, one of the first 10 people at Ripple. He had on his LinkedIn page at one time, I've tweeted it out before, and he was talking about why all the people left major companies to come to Ripple. And he says, and he basically in so many words says, do you know what the XRP price would have to be to support the trade flows around the world? And I think he said like a really, really big number. That's what I think of when I see this announcement. The writing is on the wall, folks. Now, I'm going to talk about this more in DAIXRP.com, which is the Patreon, but I'm going to play this clip for you here. Many don't remember Ken Kurson, but I did many deep dives on Ken Kurson, who is a former Ripple board member, and I'm going to show you this one, but then I'm going to show you some more in the group that you're not going to want to miss, because there are all kinds of links to the Trumps and everything. This idea that none of the Trumps will talk about XRP, but they all know about it. I'll never forget when Ray Fuentes interviewed, he was walking next to Donald Trump Jr. one time. Can't remember where it was, but he's saying, I'm an XRP guy. And Donald Trump Jr. had a look on his face like, keep walking, and just got out of there. He wasn't about to even say the word XRP. Those are the kind of things that catch my attention. This is former Ripple board member Ken Kurson.
I'm quite involved with cryptocurrency too, so that's its own form of collecting. I served on the board of a company called Ripple for 4 years. They're a rather large sort of innovator in the fintech business. So I'm an early adapter of cryptocurrency. I don't know if you could call that collecting the same way, because it's almost the opposite. I like the physical objects, but yeah, I do.
Through Jared, obviously you met President Trump, and I saw a picture with you and him. How well did you get to know him, and do you know anything, again, like the Giuliani question, is there anything about Donald Trump that that the public doesn't know that we would like to know?
Well, that's a harder one for a couple of reasons. Trump has been the most public person imaginable forever, so but I don't know him as well as I know Rudy. But I knew Trump before he ran into politics. Trump interviewed me when he was considering running in 2012. He probably had heard about me through Jared, but it wasn't like a Jared arranged thing. It was independent of Jared. And I think, if he would have run in 2012, he probably would have hired me. But then once I came to the Observer, I started to know him a lot better. And
there is so much more to the Ken Curson story. We're going to talk about it in DAIXRP.com, the Patreon. If you'd rather join through YouTube, click join right below this, any of my YouTube videos, or you can subscribe through X. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Let's go down the rabbit hole. Here we go.